Hi guys, in this video I'll be showing us how to make the skirts in the picture above. So you need to know how to draft a basic skirt, and then your front pattern should be unfold. So this is the front and this is the back pattern here. And yeah, so you're cutting to the back, and I'll show how to do that later when I'm transferring my pattern to the fabric, because we need to do one or two manipulations on that. Now, this is the front pattern, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is to close the dart on the skirt. So I'm going to extend my dart legs down to the hemline of the skirt, like so. Same thing on the other side. So this is just simple dart manipulation technique. Like I'm transferring the waist dart to the hemline, or I'm closing the waist dart. So with this, the skirt is fitted, but the dart is hidden, and then it makes the skirt to flare out. Because if you look at the picture, the final skirt is not pencil, it's kind of flared out like an A-line sort of. So I'm going to close my dart like this. So I'll use a cello tape. You could use pin to close it, whichever one works for you. So I'm just using my cello tape to close the darts on both sides of the skirt. Now, the next thing, now we're going to locate 1 or 2 inches after the center front, okay? Because the plate is, few inches away from the center front, okay? So I'll just find the midpoint anyway between the mid center front and the other dart leg. So this is like the midpoint. Okay, so this is going to serve as my first slash line. So this is my center front. Okay, now the first line I just drew, this is going to serve as my first um slash line. Okay, so now I'm going to divide this. Okay, so I'm just labeling so I don't make a mistake. Yeah, so this is center front attachment. So I don't just misplace the patterns. Now I'm going to divide this first part of the skirt into 2 equal halves. So all I'll do is I'll just measure it and find the midpoint basically. So I will not give us a specific measurement. Just know that you're going to divide this part into 2 equal halves. Okay, that's all. Now I'm going to link it together as seen in the video. Okay, now I'll go ahead to the other part of the skirt. Now this part where I close the dart will serve as another slash line. Now this other part of the skirt, I'll just try to use the same measurement I used, in the first 2 lines. Okay, so all together I have 4 slash lines. So I'm also going to measure what I had at the lower part here. I would impute the measurement on the lower part of the other side of my skirt. I don't know whether I'm making sense to us. The thing is, I want all the pleats to be even and equal. Yeah. So I'm just linking everything from top to bottom. Did I just say that? Okay, so I'm linking it together like so. And then I would label the lines before I cut out so that I don't make a mistake. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 slash lines. Then I'll draw my arrows. Okay, because once you cut out, they might look confusing. So I've drawn my arrows and I'm just cutting everything out like so. Okay, so once I cut this out, now I'll show us how everything looks like, on pattern paper. This is what it looks like. Yeah, can we see? So now I want to show us how to cut it on fabric. Now I didn't add any seam allowance at this point. Now when you're cutting on fabric, I'm adding 1 inch to the side seam, ½ inch at the top, 1.5 inch at the lower part. Now for this part here, I'll be adding ½ inch for side seam allowance. Then I'll be adding extra 1 inch because there will be a hidden plate behind this part. So ½ inch seam allowance, 1 inch for the plates. Altogether that's 1.5 inch. Okay, so I will measure 1.5 inch from the top to bottom. Yeah, so top to bottom, so 1.5 inch. Okay, and I'll just roll it all the way down. So please make sure you use your ruler to draw because you're dealing with pleats and everything has to be even. Okay, so I'm just still marking, then I'll use my ruler to draw a straight line all the way down. Okay, so now I can cut out, right? Whew. Okay, so now I'm cutting out, and then we'll go to the main part of the skirt, which is the other side where we have to do slash and spread. So this is here, this is number 5, which is the side seam. So I'll pin it down, and then I would spread the other part with 3 inches apart. Like each of the other pieces, I'll spread them 3 inches away from the others. Now, coming to number 1, which will be attached to the center front. For number 1, I will add half inch for seam allowance to join it back to this part of the skirts. Okay, then if you remember, our spacing for the pleat is 3 inches. We already have 1 inch on the other part of the skirt, so I'll just add 2 inches to this other side. I don't know that I'm confusing us. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 2. Then I'll add half inch that I'll use to join it to the other part. Okay, so I'm marking 2.5 inch. I don't know, I hope I do not confuse us, please. So I'm adding 2.5 inch, and then I'm just cutting it out. Then 1 inch for side seam allowance, obviously half inch at the top. So this is what the pattern looked like on fabric. Now let's go to the sewing part. So to sew it is very easy. Okay, let's do the back. So now for the back pattern, I'm going to close the waist that like we did for the front, so that we have that A-line look. Okay, so once I do that, I'll place it on my fabric. I already have zipper allowance, so I'll be adding half inch at the top for the waistline, 1 inch for side seam allowance, 1.5 inch for seam allowance at the hemline. Okay, simple as ABC. Okay, yeah. So I'm just trimming out the excesses. Now this is what the back looks like. Okay, now for the sewing part, I'm going to start from the back. I'll go ahead and join the zip allowance with 1 inch from top to bottom. Yeah, in fact, let me just stop here. You guys should go and digest this one. I will post part 2, which will show the continuation of the sewing tutorial.